Good morning, traders, and welcome to the Bookmap All Markets webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap. Good morning, traders, and welcome. And I'll go through the markets with you this morning. Typically, it is Scott Pulcini presenting at this time on Thursday. He is off this week, so he'll be back next week. So I'll fill in. We'll go through some things today. Typically, I'm here Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. So I'll be there tomorrow, so we can go through some things in more detail. So the anyway, this is my trader bio here. I've been a trader for about 15 years, and I lead the Bookmap education here. Yep, you can reach out to me on Discord at Bruce at Bookmap or my Twitter handle at Flow Order. I need to go through the disclosures, and we'll jump right in and look at these markets. General disclosure, all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure, trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, let's jump in here and take a look at whatever markets you guys want. Over on Discord, good morning, everybody. Scott told me just yesterday that he is not able to present today. He is off, or maybe it was 2 days ago. But no worries. He's on vacation, so I'm just filling in here. We won't go for the full hour and a half. I think we'll just maybe go for about an hour or so, and cover some of these things in here, what's happening in the markets. All right, so looking at the S&P E-mini, well, we can see the 930 cash open here move to the upside, high liquidity up here, 42.78, move to the downside, high liquidity down here at 68, and then some interest coming in after the market started to trade down in this area here around 65, and we see a nice bounce right back up to the highs. So pretty back and forth in here. And guys, again, we can look at candlesticks in here. In fact, I'll even make the point here, belabor the point potentially. So bear with me for a moment though, and let me show you the candlesticks here and take everything else off. All right. We see the move and the wicks up here. We see the move down, and then we see the move back up, and we see wicks on the move down down in this area here, and we see it also here back on this recent high here. All right, but what's really going on in here? Okay, who's in control of the market? Who's taking this market into a new direction? Well, let's look at the best bid and offer. This starts to outline the market structure in a much clearer way. This is why you can see it, right? And there's a line right here in the middle. Okay, you really can't see that in the candlesticks very well. But now, and that's good. That's good to see. And let's clear the drawings here. Okay, that's good to see. But we really want to understand the volume trading within that area here. Okay, look at that heavy selling. And heavy selling again here. Right here is looking actually pretty good for trend continuation. We'll talk about that with the liquidity heat map in just a minute. And the buying coming back in here, we would still look for this move to the downside. This is where the buyers came in and powered through here, right here. And you can see it very clearly here in Bookmap. And this is excellent. This is the kind of transparency we're talking about. This is where the market broke from on the sell side. Not here. It actually broke here. And that's where the buyers took it above and you're going to see a short squeeze. These are the shorts in here covering on the way up, right? These are the market dynamics we're talking about here. in these transactions. Now let's jump into the order flow as well, and we'll look at the historical order flow here. Right, we already noted that earlier. This was already in the market here at 42.78, and then this was already in the market here at this 68 level, but went lower into this liquidity down here, and then we got this really nice bounce out of this area here. Right, but this is the key level here, 42.73. We're either going to be above it or we're going to be below it. All right, or maybe we just hammer around within a range in here, maybe even a statistical range in here. You may see like some sort of standard deviation around this 42.73 line here. All right, but that's what we want to look at here. This is giving us understanding and clarity of what's happening in the market, right? So I hope that is understandable. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Thanks, Rob. AV is good. Good morning, Shadow. All right. So now let's just zoom in here. And it looks like we got some buying interest coming in here. Okay, well, let's zoom in and let's really understand this interest in here. All right, the book is showing some interest on the bid here. We're getting our buyers. Okay, getting a bit of a pullback here right now, maybe to right here where that buying started to come in. Now, the question is, are we going to get these buyers again? Okay, well, let's just look at microstructure in here. I'm looking for green dots right up here at 76. If I get them, I'm looking for it to come up into 78. This is the same kind of line that we're just covering in a bigger picture. There's sellers down here. There's buyers up here. Okay. And there's our pullback. Here are our buyers. We're looking for our 78. Right. So just going through and understanding, and how did we do that? It looks almost magical, right? That somehow we were able to call the market and look for this move to 78, just like that. It's not. It doesn't work like that. What was going on was understanding this in here for this to potentially unfold as a scenario. And in this case, that scenario unfolded, right? If we didn't get the buyers here, and this is why we go through the scenarios, and it's important to understand what these scenarios look like. We mark them up all the time. Okay? When we're looking for our big green dots to pull it up into here. That's it. That's it for now. Okay? Maybe in a bigger picture, we'll take a look at the bigger picture in a minute. But that's all we're looking for in this view in here. Right? We can see that there's still buying pressure. It's come up into 80 now. Now the other scenario in here to go through was, okay, that's great that we got. You might check out this tool in here, recenter in drag mode. If you have it checked, when I go back here, price action will always be within the drag mode. But if I uncheck it, then I can go any way I want here, right? I can look outside of price. And so just note that feature if you like it or not. The other scenario would have been here. It would have been a failure of this. And what we would have looked for is lots of sellers here. And then we look for the break into 74, right? And then also we have the potential then at 74 down to our line here that we just marked up here at 73, and to test this. Maybe we'd get enough sellers down here to break that line and continue on lower. Right, so these are the scenarios, and the primary scenario is the one we're looking for, which already played out. Okay, it's already played out to 78. In fact, it went up to this 80 liquidity here. Okay, so understanding, and this is, how we can gain an edge using this software here is by understanding these market phenomena or events in here. Once we can start to outline and understand above or below the 73, is it accepting? Do we see a lot of buying pressure? And then we're looking for it again in here. There was a microcosm, a micro like structure here of exactly the same thing. But the line here would be at the 75 and a quarter. And the range here is very small. It's like a point and a half or so instead of several points. All right, and then just outline the scenario. And then we can look for one of these to play out. And look for why we kind of leaned for this as being the primary scenario is because we already had the big move here. So we've already accepted above, and then we're looking again for our buyers to come in. All right, so we go with the primary scenario. It's this recent activity in here that gave us that kind of insight. All right, so now again, as we covered first started the webinar, this actually looks really good for it to start to trend lower down into these lows in here. We see very strong volume. We see, look, it's a strong pullback here, but it's on low volume here. This is a low volume pullback. Hey, let's get these candles out of the way. Sorry, guys. Why we're covering this in here? Well, I'll tell you why. We are creating some much needed content for you guys coming up. Let me show you this here. I've shown it a bunch of times, but we'll have a course in here on strategies and setups. Go to bookmap bookmap.com/learning-center. Take you to the Bookmap Learning Center here. All right, and then click on this one here for example. We just finished up some other videos in here, and we go through all these different features here within Bookmap, and there's a lot, right? But they're very short videos in here. So if you're new to Bookmap, this is a great place to go. And we're going to come up with another course in here. We have our market mechanics course as well that teaches you how these markets work. And this is what is really the foundation here. This is what we just covered in here, basically. Okay? Understanding who's moving the market, where are they out of control, and who's moving the market on the other side. And then that's why we look for the move to continue. It's because these players in here have moved the market, and we have a positive edge here, or looking for the continuation of it. We didn't get a retest down here. We don't see heavy selling in here, so we're looking for our buyers in here, and that played out pretty nicely. That scenario here. Okay, now we don't know. Like, let's see. Like, we might get our retest back down to here and follow through to the downside. Okay, so we'll come into this in a minute here. We're actually looking at the same area right here. Right here. We can draw up a new line here. Okay. At 76 or so. All right, above or below 76. Let's see. We'll go through this scenario. All right, sellers coming in here. Not too many buyers, more sellers here again. Okay, looking for red dots, looking for sellers, and looking for them to drop the market maybe down into our 73. Okay, that would be one of the scenarios here. Okay. The other scenario we can take a look at here, we can go through the opposite one. Lack of buying, or lack of selling, I'm sorry. Exhaustion here on that sell side. Buyers back in above, up here. And then maybe a breakout, not only of this this trend line, but this little range in here. And this is where we need to see buyers back up here, okay, to support this and for that move higher. And if we can get that, we'd be looking for it to come back up into maybe 80 here, 79, 80, something like that. All right. Then going through and understanding the behavior in here is what is really the key. And then we can kind of weigh the options. Like we can look at this in here, and this will give us an edge. We can go through these scenarios, what they might look like, and then look at this one here. Like, yeah, the buying's not bad. I'm still looking for this to continue here. We have less in here, though, I think. What's the order book telling us? Yeah, they're on the bid here. They're kind of pulling here. Yeah, let's see it continue on up to 80. We might get a pullback here back to 77.5, but yeah, momentum seems pretty good. And just looking for buyers to continue to climb up to 80 here. There we go. All right. So anyway, are there any questions on this? Because we're going to go over this, and we'll start creating some content for this. Like I said, when you start to understand how these markets move and how they work, and that's why we have this educational course here, then you've got a really nice foundation here. Now, we had this course since 2018. And then the new Getting Started course in here is about how to use Bookmap. Getting connected, here we have all sorts of videos on connecting Bookmap to data. Order flow phenomena, lots of videos in here on interesting things. The add-ons, all the different add-ons that we have in Bookmap here, as you can see. And then our insights page here. Scroll down a little bit further, and all our events are in here on the calendar. Just a note here about Options Millionaire. I need to delete that one. Thought I did. Hold on a minute. Let me delete that. Yeah, he had to cancel today, so it's unfortunate about that. Yeah, there we go. Okay. And that should update our calendar. Yeah, okay, great. So he's not on the calendar anymore. Right, so anyway, guys, I wanted to show you this in here, the new learning center, drive you guys toward these areas. This is going to be the hub for learning. And like I said, we're going to have content about different setups in here and understanding these markets, building upon the market mechanics course here, understanding what moves the market. And then we're going to look at some of these things in here, why we can look for some of these moves to unfold by going through the scenarios. All right. Let's see here. Yep, still pretty strong buying. So yeah, looking for a continuation here. We're going to get some pullbacks in here. So let's look at maybe where we might get some support. Looks like this trend line, more shallow one here, is working better. We'll hold on to that one. Yeah. And we have our 76 line here as well. Okay. So now look at the selling. Okay, so we were looking for continuation here. Everything looks good in here, right? Well, everything changed. This is why we want to start to understand, like, even though this volume looks really good in here, can you guys see where the sellers started to come in? First, we see some in here, testing this in here, and we just didn't get buyers. We have a lack of buyers in here. Strong buying in here. And then the selling really comes in down here and moves that market. Okay, so now we can see the buyers retest right back to it. And we again have our line in the sand here at this 78 3/4. And so far, the buying that has come back here is low volume. And that's one of the setups we look for a trending market, is low volume on the pullback. Now, what we have to be very careful about, though, is like we've talked about this, the caveat here about the low volume pullback is note how you can get buying back up above it here. Doesn't matter if it's a low volume pullback. If you can get the buying back up above it here, get a nice move and continuation to the upside, because the volume, once we're up here, they can take control away from it here, and the sellers are going to be feeling the pain in here and the squeeze, and we should get a nice stop run to the upside. And let's look for it. We'll anticipate a stop run in here, most likely above 81. And let's see if we can get back up into 82 here, where they pulled that liquidity. All right. Let's take a step back here. We went through these scenarios in here, and so far, bulls still move in the market here from this move above 73. Good morning, McLoco. Any questions over on Discord? Do you guys think you could do this? Like, mark up your charts, mark up some of these scenarios. I mean, if so, try, throw it in here in the all markets chat. We'll take a look at them. But if we can understand what moves the markets, and then we look at the behavior of the players in here, like right now, everything looks good for a pretty strong breakout here. However, what about the order book? Okay, well, I see it's not really helping us too much here. There we go. There's the breakout. This is something that yeah, this is what we covered on last Friday as well. Is like, yeah, there's still momentum in here. However, we don't have everything, all the pieces in here. And all of a sudden, sellers can come in below 81 and disrupt the whole thing, right? And that's part of trading. But we got to go with what we see in the behavior. The thing is that we don't have on our side here is the order book. We do have them supporting up at a higher level here at 78, but they're also in the book here now 83 at a lower level. 83 and 84 and a half. It's already traded to our 82. That's great. Continuation though, I would say it looks like it wants to do this, but we don't have all the pieces in here, and this makes me stay away from it. Yeah, McLoco, I mean, mark up, maybe try some of these scenarios in here, because like one or the other will likely work out. And then you can understand what that behavior looks like before it takes place. And that's the beauty, because it starts to evolve, and then you can take advantage of it. Yeah, give it a try. Guys over on YouTube, yeah, if you want to jump over into our Discord channel, and here I can send you a link to it as well. And it would be this I would suggest doing it in this all markets room here. And since I kind of started the thread there, let me create a new link here, guys. Okay, and I'll put that into the Discord channel. I'm sorry, into the YouTube channel. There you go. All right, well, let's take a bigger step back here. Like we've seen some nice stuff kind of unfold here, but let's look at our bigger picture here. It is really essential to have the bigger picture and what's happening there. All right, so we start with the daily here on the left-hand side. Let's make this a little bit bigger. This was our strong breakout on last Friday, and then we see a lot of chop in here. We were still bullish in here just because, you know, this was a green candle on Monday. During the webinar, we're looking for continuation, but we are also starting to note some levels in here on the weekly. Okay, that is getting kind of lofty up in here, and we have a wick up here, and we have a very strong move away from that area up here. So we're looking at some profit taking. We're looking at maybe some sellers to start to enter in here. However, this is a breakout. Clearly, on a weekly chart, it closed up here, and this is strong. Okay, so it's a pretty good move, but we got to get over this hurdle here, which is around 43.25 up here. And if we can, we had the discussion on Friday, we can continue on up into like 600, 4,600. I'm sorry, 44. There's 45. There's 4,500 up here. Yeah, something like that. Why not? 4,400, which is here. I don't really see much on the weekly here, though. You know, maybe you can zoom up to these levels pretty quickly here. We'll see. Looking for, you know, a lot of buying in here, and it's looking pretty good so far on this weekly chart here. Even this entire week is bullish, okay, in this bigger picture in here. It's a small little candle in here. However, it is accepting above all week long. It's been accepting at this price level. That's bullish. Okay, so bigger picture, we are bullish. All right, and our daily here, all right, you can see what happened today. We just kind of dipped below the swing from the last few days, and then we found buyers. Okay, so just around this 60 level here, and that's where now we can put the pieces together in here. This 65 level right here, that's these guys here. Okay. Also, we see that liquidity in here previously, and that's what's happening in here. That's why this price level here is 65. We see this pretty strong reaction. All right, well, where are we going? What do we see on the higher time frame in here? Well, on the daily chart, why not? Why not get up into like 42.91, maybe 4,300, the figure. And let's take a look at the hourly here in the center, though. Yeah, this is a good area to. I mean, we see lots of little wicks in here on the hourly here, so this is a good area to consider taking some profit on this. Okay? As a trade management rule, you know, it's done. Trading up into this little range up in here is pretty likely. Seeing a lot more volume above it and breaking out is less likely. So what basically had happened was market traded to below this area, probably stopped a lot of people out from, you know, several hours on this hour candle here, candlestick chart, and then it moved and traded to the other side of the range here. And we're still looking for continuation here, though. This is a pretty strong hourly candle in here. Let's see if we can get up higher. We have some areas on the hourly we can take a look at here, maybe 85 due to some of these areas in here, and then the breakdown here, or maybe up at 92, somewhere around here, due to these wicks up in here. Right, we're looking again. You don't have to have volume profile charts to understand that. You can understand that there's probably going to be a low volume node in here, and because a lot of transactions in here and a lot of transactions above it. Okay, so probably, and that's a good area to see if price can come up and test in that area here. Okay, because it accepted in here for a lot. You can, again, we're talking about auction process in here, price and acceptance on these candlestick charts, and we're just kind of extrapolating this meaning from these candlestick charts, but in an auction theory mindset here, that we can get up into these areas. All right, and then now let's just jump back into Bookmap, or maybe the 15-minute chart. What do we see here? Look at, I mean, this is yesterday's action, just wicks all over the place, very back and forth yesterday. Okay, today, like, this is pretty strong. I mean, look at this pretty big wick down here at the bottom and this move up on this 15-minute and continued on up, and great right up here. And this is what we're talking about. We would anticipate some profit taking up here, okay, or maybe some sellers entering as well. All right, so this looks like actually a pretty good mean reversion type of trade. Where would that mean be? You guys tell me, you profile guys. Probably around 74, right? Maybe our 73 level that we looked at earlier. From yesterday, it's probably right around in here, actually. Probably around 70, 75. But we're not talking much, though. 74, 75, 73, something like that. Morning, Tony. J Slim. All right, I like it. Let's see this. What chart are you looking at there? That looks like the SPY or something. Okay. I'm not sure what. Okay, let me read your question here. Wondering if volume dots are significantly red. I mean, no. Okay, so those are most likely. Do you have the MBBO data as well? Those look like dark pool transactions to me. You'll get that in the stocks. You have OmniFeed. Okay, so then you would, yeah. So OmniFeed actually is kind of all inclusive with that. They have it's not pure MBBO. There's a difference, and I can't recall the distinction. It's more like a kind of a what do you call it? Like a mimicked or a it will show dark pool transactions though, but it's in a it is a different calculation. You'll have to reach out to support on that. I can't recall how it actually works. Okay, but they say, like, OmniFeed says that we offer MBBO data as well, the CTA, but it is kind of yeah, it's done in a different way. With DXFeed, you can get it. You just have to subscribe to it, which is $30 more a month, and you will get those dark pool transactions as well. That's quite a few in that SPY here. I'll show you guys what we're talking about in here, and looking at the SPY. So see all these transactions up here. Okay, well, price is transacting down here though, right at 42 or 426.85, right? And these transactions, we don't see best bid and offer at all. But where do these transactions come from? And these are off exchange dark pool transactions. Okay, but that's why MBBO can pick it up, because it will include all transactions, not just exchange. All right, guys, so our momentum is still continuing here, looking for a move back up to 83. We bounced off of this. We found some support here. Yeah, looking for buyers to continue. Why not? We don't have any other reason to think differently at this time. There's not a whole lot of interest, like I said, in the order book here. There's a little bit on the bid here. We're still looking for this to continue higher. It looks like it's going to be kind of rocky. Just put it that way. Okay? Whereas some of the other moves in here were, I think, in the scenarios and the behavior in here, it was more, or it was better telegraphed to us that this move was going to unfold. Okay? And here we're looking for the move to continue, but you know, we can see we may see some bigger players come in here and just you know, annihilate the bid for a short period, and that can be really unnerving, and that's a part of the trading. Okay? But we're looking for continuation here. Now we did a nice little drill down in here. Okay? We would anticipate some profit taking, and we were looking actually for, this candle was red earlier, that mean reversion trade in here. Okay, maybe back down into here, or maybe there's probably a high volume node in here someplace from yesterday, and we can see that we bounced off of that here, and now we're back up here. So now this is our second attempt up here, and it's come up above this wick. Yeah, we're probably going to run into some headwinds up here as well, and maybe another pullback. And then if we can get one more retest up here, I would look for this to break and continue. It might break on this test here, but the first retest came up to this wick here. Now we just retested this one. I imagine we're still going to see some profit taking and maybe some selling coming in here, but we're still looking for you know, this continuation basically. Now you can see, depending on the time frame that you're trading, okay, after we kind of did it backwards. We went through all this analysis here, the daily, the weekly, the hourly, the 15-minute, and then what our scenarios were likely here, to what might unfold here. Okay, so if you were involved into this move here or this move in here, you're still in this, and you're still looking for this continuation here. Depends on your time frame. Okay, so actually this looks pretty good up here. You can see it's testing now the 83 or 84 here. That's another great place. This is where I would love to take some profit. Okay, I know there's strong momentum in here, but like I also know that there was strong momentum to the downside at that point here. Right, so this is a great place up here for me in my plan to take some off. Okay, maybe you know, you guys, like some of you were, after seeing this move to the downside and this rejection in here, you're looking for it to maybe test up to here. Okay, 42.90. Let's take a look. What does it look like in Bookmap? Yeah, it looks like a good area up here, kind of 88 level. We talked about 88 level a few days before. Shadow, no, you can get rhythmic data right from our marketplace. Let me show you. Okay, just go to bookmap.com. Click on the More button, and then go to our Bookmap marketplace here. Okay, you can actually click on the marketplace link here, or you can click on Market Data. Let's go to that one, and then you'll find rhythmic right here, and see the details. Yeah, so it's you got to select one in here. There, $39. If you just get the CME, it's 39 bucks. Okay, if you get the, you can add them in here or take them off. So if you get just CBOT, it's 39 bucks. You can see that $78 for 2 exchanges. Well, how about the bundle? If I get the bundle, it's $99. So it's if you trade, if you really only trade like I don't know, bonds or the YM or something like that, and CME instruments like the stock indexes, then yeah, you'll save a little bit of money by getting the two, 78 versus 99. However, if you like to trade crude every now and then in NYMEX, you might as well go with the bundle. Okay, so anyway, that's where you can find it. I'll put this link into the chat for you. I hope that link works for you. Okay. Anyway, guys, it's still seeing the same thing here. So nice. It's a nice cluster of buying in here, up at that top. Okay, up in here. Now, again, like I said, I like to take some profit along the way at certain areas with reason. With reason. Okay, and another reason would be in here. Now, here's our price channel, and what these channels tell you is the behavior in them is like, this is a little too high up here. It's a little too pricey. Okay, we're talking about an average in here. This is just a horizontal. It's the same thing as like a horizontal price line in here or channel. It's just tilted. That's all. And it's trending, but this is a little too high in here. Right, so we got some buyers in here. Now I'm actually looking to see if these buyers, this would be a counter trend trade in here, would be like maybe this is a little too high, and see all that buying in here. There's your trap. Okay, so question is, and the scenario is, what if we get the order book, which is starting to show some interest here on the offer? Okay, it also shows some interest here on the bid though, so it kind of negates that. But then it's the aggressor of the red dots here. We have our exhaustion and a lower high here, so that it's possible. The scenario is kind of setting up for a move back down into maybe this area here, 80 and a half or 80, something like that. And even if you did get that move, you could still be bullish, right? It's still within this trend here. Now it's a counter trend idea, and it's playing out. I mean, like it's there. It's possible. Now that I see some buying back up here though, where we previously had this exhaustion in here, it makes that a little more challenging to understand here. Right? If we get buyers up in here, it doesn't really matter. We still might get a trap, a buying trap up here. But we have the possibility for these buyers to just start yanking it higher here, back up to where it would be too high, maybe around 86. Yeah, yeah, J Slim, those levels did transact. I mean, again, it's off exchange, and it can really screw up your charts. Um, candlestick charts, you see these big wicks and things, and you're like, "Whoa, what happened there?" And it just blows out your range. Um, but yeah, those look like a dark pool to me. That was OmniFeed data. You can find it also on here, I believe it is here on our marketplace. Not. It should be. I mean, then if it's not in here, it's off of our website. Okay. Um, yeah, yeah. It'll have to be off our website then. Okay. So if you guys are interested, now the DX feed is not in here as well. Okay, so just Rhythmic and this feed for Canadian and the UK markets. Is there a limit on the resolution for Thinkorswim's Bookmap? It is not full depth of market. No, it is. They're using DX feed data, which is great. However, it's it doesn't offer the MBO data that Rhythmic does. McLoco, you saying it's limited? No, I mean I think it's full depth. All right. Well, you can see our scenario here did not play out whatsoever for this move, this counter trend move in here. Again, this is that's telling you something. I mean, this is it's pretty strong still, pretty strong buying. Now we may even break this price channel here. Oh, you meant that it was full depth. Yeah. Okay. All right. Thanks, McLoco. All right. Well, like I said, I would have been out some. Maybe I got out some earlier, in this move, but so I might be missing this in my trading plan here. Um, but 84 looked like a good area here to take some profit for me, okay, due to uh, this swing here. Now you can see this is pretty strong still. Okay, so we're looking at 87 and 90 as these next targets here, these swings here. Okay, and just match that up with liquidity. Here's our 87 level. So we're not making it up, right? We see it's 88 looks like, and then 90. And look at all these players now in front here. Okay, they're front running it. Okay, now this is less bullish here because the liquidity is up here at 88, but we see other players in front of it. They want to get filled. Okay, so now is it profit taking? Is it new selling coming in? New supply? Well, it doesn't really matter. You just know that there's sellers here. For those of you getting data for Bookmap here, please go check out this new learning center. We put these great videos together here for getting connected to Bookmap. You'll see that here's how you download the platform, how you the run options window, then subscribing to the here. Yeah, please go here. Subscribing to OmniFeed, subscribing to DXFeed, and subscribing to Rhythmic. The information's here. And then here are all the different ways to connect. So new videos in here, connecting to Rhythmic, OmniFeed, DXFeed, CQG, whatever. They've all been updated. So this is the place to go. Yeah, please go check it out. That'll answer your questions. So you can go to that marketplace, but I would suggest check out these are brand new videos here. Subscribing to OmniFeed and learn a little bit about that. Yeah, bullish day. Yep. And it's weird too. I mean, the data was bad this morning just for claims, jobless claims, higher, which is I guess the market's well, clearly the market thinks that's good for now because it's going up, but you know that means that basically that the Fed will not raise rates is what it means. Yes, exactly, McLoco. However, like bigger picture means that okay, well, unemployment's going to go up, and then unemployment's going to go up. People are going to buy less, and profits are going to go down, and the stock market's shares will go down, earnings will go down in the bigger picture. But I mean, that's what the Fed is trying to do to tame inflation. So they've kind of struggled to do that. Yeah, gold is crazy market, McLoco. Pretty wild swings. All right, well, behavior. Now look at the up in here. Remember we saw this bullish kind of behavior in here, but it's a little too high even in here. Pretty bullish. This is looking. It's just not the same, right? It's just not the same. We see a lot of selling in here. This now, like we can look at. Let's just take the volume dots off for a moment here. Okay, the structure is still bullish though. Still high, even though they're slightly higher highs. They are higher highs. Actually, slightly lower low here, but it has not made another one yet. So it's still bullish here until we see something different. Now, that's the structure, but what if we put on the volume dots here? Now we can look at some of the details in here and see we know that there's some selling in here. We know that there's some selling in here. Now we're breaking the structure. Right now we're getting a pullback immediately. Again, this is a low volume pullback here. If we can get buyers back up above here in this line here, look out, right? Get a stop run to the upside up into 88. All right, but what we typically look for now, it depends. This is why we look at the amount that it moved away from here as well, because if it's just a point or so, it is likely we can get some back and forth, or we can even see it trade back into the range and other side of the range here. Okay, the other scenario here, and the most likely one due to this heavy volume in here, is we got to get heavy volume down here again at 95 on that sell side. Maybe a little higher, maybe here, 85 and a quarter. If we can get that, then we're looking for the move back down here to 84 and a half, the swing, and then maybe back down into 83. All right, and that would be the scenario here. Now the book is supporting right now. You can see them on the bid here. They right at the area we're talking about. They're supporting it. You see traders coming in, and our large lot tracker, we can say they. It is individual orders in here. They are these two players in here. It might be the same. Is supporting and providing liquidity here at 85 and a quarter, 85. The reaction has been buyer so far. So looking for 88 to transact. Yeah, I know. I always cringe when I say they. Oh, they're doing this. They're moving it and whatever. And it's just it doesn't work like that. It's the markets aren't like that. In some cases, it is true. I think this is a case like that. And these two traders were providing the majority of the liquidity in here. One trader, this little white line, everything to the left of it, everything to the left of this one here. So out of these, basically 1,000 contracts here, it looks like more than half of them are one individual actor. J-Slim, sometimes you see heavy volume, big red dots plus long volume red bars, but price moves up. Yeah, sure. Well, I would suggest this: go in and look at the mechanics in that. Zoom in, and you'll see what unfolded. It happens a lot more on stocks than it does in the futures. We can take a look here. Not on Tesla. Wow, very bullish here. Okay. Apple, it's not doing it either. Microsoft. Yeah, okay, this is a little bit better. See how it's still going up here on selling here, right? Let's zoom in. Let's see. Let's see the details here. Yeah, I mean this is classic. Okay, so high liquidity in here. Okay, well let's even take the heat map off though. Look at the volume here that moved this market here. A very little buying actually moved this market. And then we see the selling in here, but it's not moving the market. So the transactions are taking place in here. They're finding a counterparty in here. And maybe likely it's liquidity, or it could be larger players. It could be an iceberg order. Maybe they're buying and the selling takes them on, but it fails to bring the market lower. Right, and then all it takes is, again, it doesn't have to take heavy volume to move it up. You can see this is pretty light volume here, and look again, heavy selling here, heavy selling, but you don't see it trickling down. It's just one big, sale or several sells in here, but it fails to move the market lower. Here's McLoco's divergence in here. Look at CVD. This is classic definition of divergence. Same price level, tons of selling. CVD dropping like a rock, divergent from price not dropping at all. Okay, so that's how it does it. I just, you can go through, different scenarios in here. It's like you're at the farmer's market or something, and there's someone comes in and wants to um, maybe they sell a lot at one price level, and then but they allow people to a few buyers to come in and just move it higher. So yeah, okay, I'll sell to you at a higher level. So very little buying actually moved that market higher. Yeah, you'll see this a lot in the stocks, and a lot more in thinner markets. But something like the S&P, which it's got incredible depth. Um, you will see it every now and then, but not too often. It is usually the aggressor here that, well, it's always the aggressor that kind of runs the show. The order book here, well, I mean, this is an equally valid part as well, but it's the aggressor that can move the price. Okay, and that we've gotten questions about even that in the market mechanics. How can price even move if someone's got to take the other side of the trade in here? Right. Well, it's because they've taken all the liquidity at one price level, that the next price level is at a higher area. And then if you can get the counterparty, the aggressor here, to pay up for it, then price has moved higher. It's as simple as that. That's why the spread too, like here, you will see in Tesla, God, this is super strong, guys. Look at this. It is just on a tear. This is something we showed the other day. Look at, guys, don't fight delta like this. Look at this volume delta down here. And it's coincides with price movement. Okay, there's nothing but buying in here. Okay, looking for 35. This is really strong move here. 35, 40 maybe. And it just is going exponential now. Anyway, I wanted to show the spread. Okay, so let's take a look. Yeah, so the same idea, like you pull the spread away and it comes up to a higher area here. This is where there is now liquidity. Okay, because you can see it in between the spread, there's no liquidity. Okay? Well, you can get some midpoints or that trade, but agreed upon, it's agreed upon. You can get midpoint trades in stocks though, or this might be on VWAP right here. We'd have to look at see all trades, I think. And no filters. Yeah, okay. So that was for 250. Yeah, that was likely a midpoint then. Some of these are on VWAP though. When we'll show these transactions and give kind of an overall VWAP of it on these very small time frames. But yeah, this looks off exchange here. That might be from what I'm seeing in DX feed, that might be your dark pool transaction. So anyway, yeah, think about it again with the market mechanics in here, that the spread widens out, and then just one buyer can move price up to an area. That's all it takes. So with very little volume, it can move up here as long as the other side of the trade is willing to. That's where they're willing to trade, and you find that buyer willing to buy at that higher price level. That's how you can get these. That's an example. a very pure example of a low volume pullback. And we can even look at the S&P for those, like in some of these moves in here. Our 88 level guys just transacted. Yeah, let's see. We can find it if we get it. We get a kind of a stop run or something here. Okay, and our 90 levels up here next. Yeah, and I would have been out at 84, likely. Let me try to find one of those crazy moves in here. Be down here, we can find it. A sweep of the order book is what I'm looking for. And I don't see a good one. And on these order book sweeps, this is where you can understand the spread and yeah, here's a bit of a sweep, and you can see like the best bid and offer update later, so they crossed over in here, which it's not possible. It's just it's about the updating. Okay, 88 looked like a pretty good level to take some profit. Okay, right into that high liquidity, and we don't really see many sellers. You got beautiful exhaustion here, and there was a little bit of selling in here, and it's not much that's taking this down either, but the sellers were able to do it and take price down to the bottom of the range here. The question, are we going to get some support here? Imagine just due to the price channel as well as the range in here that we're looking at. We can look at our profile as well. To profit at 86. There you go, McLoco. Didn't like the CVD making low lows. Highs. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's telling you on the overall that there is. And let's bring it up. I'm not seeing that. Still seeing more buying in here. The divergence I'm seeing is on the buy side, actually. Yeah, you must have some kind of odd or different than me resets, I think, maybe with your CVD. What your settings are. Look at my settings here. Session range. Maybe you're looking at chart range. So here and here. Yeah, I see it. Yeah, I mean, so what that means is in this little range in here, because of this selling in here and here, and also some of this in here, CVD is starting to drop. It's just the accumulation here, and there's more sellers than there are buyers. That's how you can get your divergences. All right, guys. Well, let's see here. Any more questions? Yes, there are. Pound dollar, Kieran, I don't have it. We can look up the futures though. and look at the not the 6E, but we'll look at the 6B. And we'll wait for that to load some data here. And we'll add a little bit more too, I think. Floyd, when you see orders being pulled, is it spoofing? Potentially. I mean, like this is like a spoof in here, basically, in this pound dollar. I mean, I don't know what their game is in here. I mean, they're showing on, you can see it's likely the same player. It's got to be, really. I mean, like you can see liquidity coming in here on the offer, also on the bid. You can see it coming in here on the offer, also on the bid, and you see them pulling all at the same time across all of these levels as well. Now, you know, the way to define this spoofing is best to go to CME Rule 575. Just look that up and to get the PDF and read about it. But it is liquidity that has massive skew in the order book. All of a sudden, there's a lot of supply or demand, and it has no intent of trading. They're just in there to manipulate the auction and show that there's lots of interest, but then to pull it away from the market. So the market will react to, you can see it happen all the time. You know, although they're passive orders, they can influence the market. If there's a lot of liquidity at a higher level in here, it might scare sellers away, and they don't want to sell. And you therefore you might start to get buyers, and they might try to charge up into higher liquidity up on the offer. Okay, so understanding the auction and the order book in here is you know, important, and then you can see, you know, this kind of like quote stuffing or spoofing or whatever it might be to manipulate the order book to game the market. To try to get some sort of edge that way, and that would be your spoofing. Okay, this is actually pretty close to it here, except that they're on both sides. So, you know, whatever it was, like it looks like the player wanted to, they want to get filled basically one way or the other, or maybe they're just testing the market. You know, who knows? Okay, but there'll be a seller up here. There'll be a buyer down here if the market can get there. But then it was so short-lived, right? So what was their game? I don't really know. Anyway, here's our 6B. Yikes. Nice move. There's a 100 pip move right there. Or, no, I'm sorry. 50 pip move. Yeah, pretty nice move. A lot of selling up here. Right around the 25.50 area. Oh, I'm sorry, it is a 100 point, 100 pip. Here's your 24.50. Ah. Anyway, not seeing much in here. Looks like there's some data here earlier in the day. Yeah, right in here, European data. And we can see that, you know, pulled back. Again, same concepts here. This is what I want to cover, though. You know how we started this webinar off and talking about these ranges and these breakouts, you know, buyers taking control. It pulled all the way back here. In fact, this is really kind of odd behavior. There's a lot of selling in here. Look at down here. And there's a lot of selling in here as well. even though it broke out here, right? So what's going on there? Well, and it bounced off of here and it went higher. So this is pretty odd. Uh, at that point, I would be staying away until I saw buyers back up above here. Or you could even trade it back up into here, and then I would get out and look for more, unless I saw a lot of buyers up in here. And we didn't get them until here, really, right? And then that's when they really started to move that market. Okay, so there's a lot of selling in here, moving this higher, which is pretty odd. We covered that earlier today too. Yeah, no, I mean, we have a lot of traders that um, maybe they'll trade spot, um, but they want to see Bookmap and use Bookmap for the currency futures. It'll give that additional insight. Right, you won't be able to get this in the spot because there's no order book. There's really, even the volume is kind of iffy, right, from the banks. Oh yeah, we cover NQ all the time. Uh, I haven't for a while, and the reason being is the S&P's been moving pretty well, and most people I ask in the morning, do people want to look at anything else, and we don't get too many answers, so I just stick with the S&P. I actually kind of prefer the NQ. I like the way it moves. Um, so yeah, it's looking pretty pretty spotty here, though, to be honest. Like a lot of algorithmic activity in here, adding and pulling, adding and pulling, adding and pulling, right? Creating a lot of noise in here. Again, though, the high liquidity areas are still sticking out. This has been a really powerful move too. The thing I like about the NASDAQ is the follow through. S&P will usually do another rotation or two, and then maybe follow through, where the NASDAQ, you'll just get the move. So that's what I kind of liked about it compared to the S&P. The S&P could be just so painful in the way that it moves. Well, not as painful as like bonds, but less. Abdias, I would recommend, like, if you're trading the NQ, same analysis, but one of the things that you can look for is setting your targets and taking some profit pretty quickly. I think is something to consider because likely you'll get the move, but you might not get the follow through after the move. No, I like the read in the NQ as well. It's the same process as the S&P, very much so. I mean, like, we're looking for the order book to tell us something in here. We're looking for the structure, and we're also looking at the aggressors here. So look at this here. If we get a little bit of interest here on the bid here, then we can maybe break out from this area here. Okay, up at 40.82, and you can see what happened here. Basically, the opposite is happening at the top of this range here. Exhaustion. We had a little bit of selling here. We got a lot more selling here. Now we're down at the bottom of the range. So you'd have to react pretty quickly to that. And we're looking for buyers here at that moment, and we didn't get them. And then instead we got the sellers here, and we got the move to the bottom of the range. Now look at here. We're back up here. Okay, I'm looking at right here. If I get our buyers here, there we go. We should get a move back up to 84, 85, 86. Right. So again, same concepts. Here, here, and here. And again, like I said, this is a great area here. I mean, we said 84, 85 due to the liquidity, but there's also the swing up here, right? So that would be a good place to take some profit and set your stop at break even. Maybe you get follow through, maybe you don't. In this case, you clearly did not. Okay, and then there's your pivot line right there at 80. Okay, same with sellers down here. Back up. And here, again, if we can get buyers in here, right back to 80 would be the easy target, kind of high volume node. And then what if we can still get buyers in here? Then we can come back up to 85. Okay, here's our high volume node. You can see it here in the profile for this range. It's right here on 81 actually. But yeah, I would have taken some off right there, to be honest, and I would hold it, try to look for the next rest of the move. And the beauty is this with the Nasdaq, it follows through so much quicker, right? We'll get that move instead of like back and forth. And there you go. Okay. And again, like this is me, like I think it's probably going to go up to 90 here, but I would, that's the move I was looking for. I'm out. All right, this is pretty strong though. See, this is where like holding and looking for, a bigger move out of this. Like, look at your delta, look at your volume in here. So there's our move to 90. Okay, so next swing up here is their liquidity. Well, it looks like it wants to actually go to 14,500 here. There you go. Well, then you would have had a great trade. You went for 90. Fantastic. I mean, bigger picture looks like it's going to 500 to me. Cooking spray on the chair. I know it. I'll work on it. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's gotten worse in the last like, few weeks. So I gotta take a look at it. All right, guys. Well, anyway, let's wrap it up. Thanks everyone for coming. I just was filling in for Scott today. I didn't even mean to go for an hour and a half here. We just saw some pretty good stuff, so I thought I'd go through it. I'll be on tomorrow, Hector, at 10 a.m. That's my normal time, Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. But Scott was off, and I wanted to offer you guys something, so we can have some continuation in here. Anyway, Tom B is up next. Options Millionaire will not be on today. We had to cancel. He had some family issues to deal with. But we have Doug, options with Doug later, and then the Algo Boys. They're only here in Discord, so you'll have to come over here for that in Discord. So we still have quite a lineup, but yeah, Scott was off, and then Options Millionaire is off today as well. Okay, thanks for coming, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take care.